able to get a bunch of church business done for a few minutes, and I was able to bounce back into my movie watching room over there and watch Goldeneye for real, not falling asleep or half asleep during it. And man, what that's just a movie that just gets, I don't know, just stays the same because it was awesome when it came out in 1995. And it is still awesome in 2026 on Netflix 21 years later. What a great movie. Here's the main thing I want to talk about with Goldeneye during this this go through, if you will. I'm sure I'll come back to Goldeneye sometime later, maybe on this channel. But here is the thing I want to just emphasize over and over again. Less is more. Less is more. 1995, they came in, Bond had been on hiatus for, I think, 7 years at that point. They didn't have much of a budget. They didn't have much money floating around to do anything. They had Pierce Brosnan, and if you ask me, that's all they needed was Pierce. They had Sean Bean, and you need Sean Bean, too. They actually have a few other kind of later big stars in this, like Robbie Coltrane, Valentin Zukovsky. So they had some good principals, and they still had, and they had Judi Dench. Yeah, that's all you need is Judi Dench as Am, and they put together a pretty what actually really surprised me about Goldeneye. It's one of the most unique James Bond films because they put together somewhat of almost a claustrophobic kind of movie, but not in a bad way. It wasn't like made for TV stuff like the 80s James Bond stuff was. But it is just the shots are tighter, they're more framed, kind of like I am right here. You don't have those sweeping panoramic shots, which I do miss in this movie a little bit. They come back in Tomorrow Never Dies, of course. But you just have some really great dialogued scenes here with these characters going back and forth. I mean, it's incredible. Valentin Zukovsky's on the screen for 3 minutes? And he just chews it. He just chews it. Robbie Coltrane, the late great Robbie Coltrane. Jack Wade, CIA, is on the screen for a few minutes here and there. Once again, just chewing the scenery. Coming back, he had played Bond's villain and in Living Daylights, came back to be the Felix Leiter. But I understand now you can't let this guy be Felix Leiter. He's his own person. And that opening conversation with him and Bond with the flower tattoo is hilarious. And that's another thing about this movie. It's funny. It is not ha-ha. It's not funny like Die Another Day was trying to be. It's legitimately hilarious. And I love all of that. Who's strangling the cat? And my leg hurts every day. Twice as bad when it is cold. Do you know how many, days it is cold in Moscow? Tell him, Dmitri. And then Dmitri starts to talk. Silence, right? Robbie Coltrane is just so great. Natalia Vinoronova Simorova, great character and acted extremely well. She actually doesn't get that much time with Bond either, and so Sean Bean just being Sean Bean, and what little they had, they just excelled with it. Just put together a fun and emotionally deep. There's some depth to both Pierce Brosnan's interaction with Sean Bean, but even to poor Natalia, with kind of talking about workplace trauma. Your coworker shot everybody and then bombed the place. I mean, I know Boris did. Oh, Boris, great. I mean, the best villain package is in this movie. I didn't even talk about General Mishkin. I almost call him General Gogol because he should have been Gogol. You guys know I love Gogol from the later Roger Moore movies. But Mishkin should have been Gogol. But he was still just great. And then a few scenes he's in, he's spectacular. Mishkin's a great character for the few minutes he's on screen. And so I don't know if I want this movie over and over and over again in the James Bond franchise, but it was a breath of fresh air in 1995, and it was a breath of fresh air after I woke up from falling asleep during You Only Live Twice. So we'll see what Netflix throws at me next, but stay tuned.